coming down Canal Street, coming up to Claiborne. On the right-hand side, you can see the new LSU and VA medical complex that's being built. And on the right-hand side, we'll be coming up on the Tulane School of Public Health and Tropical Medicine. And there is a biomedical building on the left-hand side, which we might be able to see. Too bad I had to hit a stoplight. This will be my first extended glass video. I hope it's not terribly boring. I just thought it might be good for this morning's commute. Glass isn't very smart about knowing what streets are closed due to construction, so we got to the equestrian camp a little bit late this morning because Fillmore is closed westbound across City Park. City Park is one of the country's largest urban parks. I got a shot of the equestrian farms. Hopefully we'll get a little bit more later in the week. This is the biomedical building over here, which I've never actually been in. It's called the Bio-Innovation Center. And like I said, that's the Tulane School of Tropical Medicine and Public Health. We're coming down Canal Street. We have a new streetcar line since 2003. They just a few years after ripping up the rail tracks, they put new rail tracks down and put the streetcar line back in. But for many years, the streetcar hadn't run down Canal, and they finally got around to pulling up the tracks just a couple years before they thought it would be a good idea to put a streetcar back in. We're crossing Rampart here. To the left is the Sanger, which is under renovation and should be open later this year. You can see the World Trade Center building at the very end of Canal Street. It's currently unoccupied, and there are 3 plans for redeveloping it. We'll have to see what happens. One of the plans is going to tear it down. I think it's the oldest standing World Trade Center building in the country, and it's fairly iconic, but we'll have to see what happens with it. When we get to the bottom of Canal Street, we'll be able to see the Harris Casino and other landmarks. We're coming up on St. Charles Avenue, where the Uptown streetcar line comes in. It actually comes down Carondelet and then turns to go back up St. Charles. We'll see the old Warlines building, which I'm not going to get a good view of, probably from the street. On the right will be Rubenstein's, my local Popeyes will be on the left, and then Canal Place and will be on the left. So Rubenstein's is right there on the corner of St. Charles, and also Meyer the Hatter will be down there. Although I probably should keep my eye on the road. There's a lot of construction in New Orleans. Every street seems to be torn up sometime. On the left is the New Orleans Custom House. It currently would still hold some federal offices, but is currently holds the Insectarium, which is part of the Audubon Institute, which is pretty interesting. The Palace Cafe is in the old Werlines building, so you should be able to get a view of that. Werlines was a music store that closed in the 90s, I guess. I guess they were still in business in the early 2000s, but they had moved to veterans, and they are no more. So that's the U.S. Customs House and the Insectarium, which is really neat. And of course, it's I think it's now free to Audubon members. So zoo, aquarium, Insectarium is all free entry to members. That's one of the best deals in the city, I think. We use it a lot. So Harrah's Casino on the right. And we're coming up. You can see the World Trade Center there. The World Trade Center organization doesn't like it being called the World Trade Center anymore because they're not there. And they sold the building, or they had their lease bought out with the city. So you can see the aquarium coming around to the parking lot of Canal Place. And I'll probably shut the recording down since the electric substation is not terribly interesting.